The transfer market is heating up, and a defensive powerhouse might be packing his bags. Reports indicate that Fenerbahce Istanbul is aggressively pursuing a reunion with FC Bayern Munich star Min-jae Kim. With representatives already on the ground in Turkey, the club is looking to bring the South Korean centre-back home, even as giants like Juventus and AC Milan circle in the background.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Tempers flared at the Allianz Arena back in 2015, and now the truth is finally coming to light. Former long-serving club physician Dr. Hans-Wilhelm Müller-Wohlfahrt has broken his silence on a bitter fallout with then-coach Pep Guardiola. He reveals that a public dressing room blame game following a tough Champions League loss to Porto created a rift that defined the end of his tenure. The atmosphere at the Allianz Arena was electric during the clash against Real Madrid, and the echoes of that match are still being felt across the league. From the high-stakes performance of Manuel Neuer to the internal dynamics of the front office under Max Eberl and Christoph Freund, the club is buzzing. We have the inside track on the truth behind the managerial harmony and the state of the squad. The future of the roster is taking shape with several high-profile names in the headlines. We are tracking Bayern Munich's confirmed interest in Anthony Gordon, alongside the latest updates on Aleksandar Pavlovic, Givairo Read, and the status of Manuel Neuer. Stay ahead of the game by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel, with notifications turned on for all the latest updates. There's a sensational homecoming on the cards for one of Bayern Munich's defensive pillars. Buckle up, because the rumor mill is spinning, and it involves a familiar face returning to his old stomping grounds. Reports are swirling that Fenerbahce Istanbul is actively working on a potential move to bring South Korean powerhouse Min-jae Kim back to Turkey. According to trusted insider Serkan Hamzayoglu, representatives for the defender have already held preliminary talks with the club, signaling that this isn't just fan fiction. It is a conversation that has officially begun. Now, think about the trajectory here. Kim was a revelation at Fenerbahce back in 2021 before his meteoric rise at Napoli and his massive €50 million switch to Munich. But football is a fickle business, and at Bayern, the winds have shifted. With the defensive rotation becoming increasingly crowded, Kim has found his minutes harder to come by, and suddenly, a €30 million exit doesn't seem so far-fetched. While Fenerbahce is clearly ambitious, they've got a mountain to climb. We are talking about heavy hitters like Juventus and AC Milan circling the waters, and honestly, a move to the Super League would be a massive sporting step down for a player of his caliber. Still, money talks, and the allure of being the main man in Istanbul might be a compelling pitch. For now, Kim remains a part of Vincent Kompany's plans, but as we know in the transfer market, loyalty only lasts until the right offer lands on the desk. What do you think? Should he fight for his spot at the Allianz Arena, or is it time to reclaim his throne elsewhere? Hit that subscribe button and let me know your take in the comments below. After all, in modern football, nowhere is truly home for long. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? In the high-stakes world of FC Bayern Munich, that collision actually happened, and it ended in a resignation that shook German football to its core. We're talking about the legendary club physician Dr. Hans-Wilhelm Müller-Wohlfahrt and his explosive fallout with none other than Pep Guardiola. It was April 2015. The atmosphere was already toxic after a 3-1 Champions League defeat to Porto, and Guardiola decided the doctor was his prime target. Right in front of the entire squad, Pep blamed the medical team for the injury crisis, claiming the recovery times were just too slow. It was a bizarre, public dressing down that left the legendary doctor absolutely fuming. Looking back, it's not hard to see why. Müller-Wohlfahrt wasn't just any club medic. He was a titan in sports medicine, a man trusted by world-class athletes everywhere for his precision and his philosophy of natural healing. For Pep, however, the clock was always ticking, and he clearly expected to dictate medical policy just as he dictated tactics. But he hit a wall. The doctor noted that previous managers like Udo Lattek lived by the rule that the doctor had the final say, a level of autonomy Pep simply wasn't interested in respecting. The most telling part of this whole saga. The doctor is convinced that if Uli Hoeneß hadn't been in prison at the time, this clash of egos would have been nipped in the bud long before it reached a breaking point. It's a classic case of the control freak manager mentality clashing with an established club institution. Pep eventually moved on to Manchester City, and while the doctor made a brief return to Bayern later, the damage was already done. It's a stark reminder that even at the pinnacle of football, respect remains the most fragile currency of all. What do you think? Was Pep right to push for faster recovery times, or was he overstepping his bounds? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more behind-the-scenes stories from the world of football. Remember, a team is only as strong as the trust within its four walls. Have you ever wondered what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? In the high-stakes world of elite football, that collision doesn't always happen on the pitch. Sometimes, it happens in the medical office. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most famous feuds in Bayern Munich history: the explosive fallout between the legendary team doctor, Hans-Wilhelm Müller-Wohlfahrt, and the tactical genius, Pep Guardiola. It was April 15, 2015, and Bayern had just suffered a bruising 3-1 Champions League defeat to Porto. The atmosphere was already toxic, but inside the dressing room, it turned volcanic. Guardiola, known for his relentless pursuit of control, turned on the man who had been the backbone of Bayern's medical staff since the 90s, blaming him entirely for the loss. Pep's argument: too many injuries and recovery times that were just too slow for his liking. The doctor called it what it was: absolutely absurd. Müller-Wohlfahrt wasn't just some club medic. He was a titan of his field, trusted by world-class athletes everywhere for his precision and his philosophy of natural, side-effect-free recovery. But Guardiola, fresh from his success at Barcelona, wanted medical decisions to bow to his tactical timeline. It was a clash of egos, pure and simple. Reflecting on the chaos, the doctor noted that the club's heart and soul, Uli Hoeneß, was in prison at the time, and he's convinced that if Uli had been in the room, that bridge would never have burned. Looking back, it's classic Guardiola. He demands perfection and total authority, but attacking your own medical staff in front of the squad is a move that reeks of desperation rather than leadership. It's a stark reminder that even at the highest level of sport, communication and respect are just as vital as any tactical blueprint. What do you think? Was Pep right to push for faster results, or did he overstep his bounds by challenging a legend of the craft? Drop a comment below and let us know your take on this managerial power play. If you enjoyed this deep dive into football's untold stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Welcome to the front lines of the transfer market. If you thought the atmosphere at the Allianz Arena for Bayern against Real Madrid was electric, wait until you hear what is happening behind the scenes. I am your Bayern insider, Christian Falk, and today we are cutting through the noise to get you the real story on the players, the power plays, and the future of FC Bayern. Let's start with the big one, Anthony Gordon. You have heard the rumors, and I can confirm it. He is officially on Bayern's radar. The club has him on their shortlist. Now, some might ask, do they really need him? The thinking here is versatile depth. He isn't just a backup. He's an option to rotate with Harry Kane and Luis Diaz, or even slot in on the right if Michael Olise needs a breather. It's a luxury move, and with an £80 million price tag from Newcastle, it would be a massive statement of intent. Speaking of the squad, let's clear the air on two major names. First, there is absolutely no rift between Max Eberl and Christoph Freund. Despite the outside noise, these two are working in perfect harmony, the masterminds behind the current, arguably world-best Bayern offensive unit. Second, stop the panic regarding Aleksandar Pavlovic. Real Madrid might be impressed, but there have been no talks, no offers, and no interest in him leaving. He is a Munich boy through and through, and he isn't going anywhere. Now, for the veteran guard, Manuel Neuer. While the media has been linking him to a move to Brighton, the reality is much simpler. It comes down to one thing: is he still having fun? After a tough night against Madrid, his passion remains, and if that joy holds, he is set for another year in goal. Meanwhile, we are keeping a close eye on Ugurcan Sakir as a depth option, and Manchester City's sudden interest in Givairo Read, which is turning into a real headache for our transfer strategy. We are also watching the saga of Alphonso Davies, where the door remains slightly ajar, despite Vincent Kompany's admiration for his speed, and we're keeping tabs on the potential movement of Angelo Stiller to the Premier League. It's a fast-moving summer, and the pieces are shifting daily. Do you think Anthony Gordon is worth that £80 million price tag, or should Bayern invest elsewhere? Drop a comment below and let me know your take. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and add us to your favorites list so you never miss a beat on the biggest news out of Munich. Stay tuned, because in this game, the real story is usually the one you haven't heard yet.